Hi, my name is Aaron, this is my show Re-Education, and anarchism is beautiful. Why is it exactly that everybody gets inside of their mind this idea that as soon as you mention communism, everything is going to be drab and boring? The Soviet aesthetic, as though everything is just dull and gray. Like all of the competition was stifled and art was just zapped away, as though communism is antithetical to anybody actually flourishing or becoming better. I would have to say it's actually quite the opposite, because at least under anarcho-communism, anarcho being the abolishment of all unnecessary hierarchies, and communism being the worker control and ownership of the means of production, it doesn't stifle competition, it doesn't stifle artistic development, it encourages it. It enhances it. It in fact makes it better. Because instead of competing on which CEO gets to have the fastest boat or what business is able to cut as much labor as possible so it can gain as much profit as it needs, they're competing on what product is the best, on what item can be produced at the fastest, most efficient rate, at the best possible quality, to give the people the highest possible benefit from whatever item it is exactly that they are buying. That's the idea behind anarcho-communism. And it's certainly not the idea behind capitalism. I mean, it is told to us that it certainly is the idea. We're told that under capitalism, businesses compete against one another to create the best possible item because people are going to vote with their dollars on what item is the best. But unfortunately, that only means that if you're voting with your dollar, the person with the most dollars get the most votes. So whatever company has the most votes, money, is the one that's going to be able to flourish. It's the one that's going to be able to succeed. So even though one company might be coming out with an amazing product that never breaks, that always works, and would last forever, the company that doesn't create that produces something that does break, that doesn't last forever, and you need a new one every 6 months, they're going to make more money because you have to buy another one every 6 months. That's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? If we're trying to produce goods that are going to always be better, then the incentive for producing those goods should not be put into a commodity that can be easily manipulated. Something like money, where all you need to do to make more of it is to, like I said, cut your labor, cut your costs, cut your expenses. Because as long as you're producing ever-increasing quarterly profits, under capitalism, you're succeeding. Making a good product or a reliable service is always kind of second on that tree. And if a bunch of companies can get together and fix prices or cut the amount of labor they need or merge together to create a single business or an oligopoly, a bunch of businesses that control the market, then they're going to do those things. They're going to use predatory practices to take advantage of their workers, to take advantage of their clients, to take advantage of their customers, so they can increase their profit. Profit is king under capitalism. But under anarcho-communism, it's just simply not that case. It's just simply not that way. We actually incentivize making a better product rather than making more profit. People would no longer have to scrounge for any possible job they might be able to find just so they can get by. They would be given the schooling and the education necessary to get any job they want. And they would get it all, oh my God, for free. And then once they're able to get any job they want, then they can go out and become that airplane technician or that motorcycle mechanic or that artist that they've always wanted to be. And they get to own and control part of their own business. If they join into a worker cooperative and they're not working on their own, then they actually get to own part of their factory. They get to have say in what they produce, when they produce, how they produce, and what they can do with the profits. And they actually get the dignity and benefit of actually owning something. And all of you out there know that when you own something, as opposed to renting it, then you take more pride in it. If you own your own house rather than renting your own house, it's up to you to fix the holes in the drywall if they get holes in them. It's up to you to change the roof. It's up to you to update the appliances. And it's all things that you take pride in. You want your home to flourish, to do well, to be better, to be the best, actually. And if you own your own business, you inherently want it to succeed. You want that business to be on top, to outdo all of the competition and create the best possible goods. Passionate people working at jobs that they love and doing that job well. That's what anarcho-communism is about. It's not about having 6,000 different brands of toothpaste all creating the exact same flavor of toothpaste like we have right now. It's about producing the best possible toothpaste in any flavor you want. Under capitalism, the idea is that we need to have planned obsolescence and perceived obsolescence, so people throw away perfectly good items or have small pieces break in items that would otherwise be perfectly good so they can go out and buy another one. Your cell phone is a great example of this. Most of the time, your cell phone is like a tiny piece of fucking glass that has all of your history, all of your information, everything important, your banking information, everything important on your phone. And if you drop it from 3 inches off a table, it'll smash into a million fucking pieces and you'll have to go spend $200 or more to get another one. Or, even more likely, or just as likely, somebody happens to go and get a newer version of a similar phone. And you see that bigger screen, or how it wraps around the sides, or that it's a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, whatever it happens to be. And you think to yourself, oh my God, my cell phone isn't good enough anymore. Now I need to go get another cell phone that's just as good or better than my neighbor's cell phone because... why? Perceived obsolescence. It's perceived as being obsolete even though it isn't. And then you have to go out and buy another one instead of doing the thing that makes the most sense. Creating a really, really good phone that doesn't break down and is cool for a long time. You know, something that maybe you can update, or that's made out of some kind of material that is, I don't know, impervious to dropping 3 inches off of a table. Here's a question. Why is it that most people keep their phone in their top pocket, and then you bend over to flush the fucking toilet, it falls out of the fucking pocket and lands right inside the toilet, and then your entire fucking life is destroyed because you just lost your fucking phone to a goddamn toilet bowl accident? Why aren't these things fucking waterproof? Why isn't every goddamn cell phone waterproof? Anyway, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but under anarchism, you wouldn't have non-waterproof phones. Such a thing wouldn't even exist because you have to think about this logically. If you don't have to spend all of this time making a new phone every 6 months, then you get to take that time for yourself. Anybody that's working in the cell phone industry, creating a fucking tiny little cell phone, they only have to make a couple of them, and then they get to go home. They don't have to sit there and make hundreds of thousands of cell phones all the time so people that are inevitably going to lose or break or destroy or just find that they're no longer needed anymore or no longer cool anymore, they won't need to go buy a new one. Why is it that we're incentivized to put our entire lives inside of a tiny little device that if you leave it inside of your pocket too long on a hot day and sweat too much, the fucking thing self-destructs? This isn't a tenable solution to anybody's fucking problem. It's just obvious that it's less expensive to make one really good item than 1,000 really shitty ones. And think about this other benefit, this just side benefit on top of that. If you don't have to go out every 6 months and buy a new cell phone or some sort of new item that happens to be made terribly and breaks, then you're not going to have near as much packaging. There would be less pollution. So if you made good items just that didn't break down as easily, then you would reduce the amount of pollution on the fucking earth and we would actually come a little bit closer to having a sustainable world. But instead, we decide to make everything break the fuck down, so not only are we throwing away the packaging every 6 months, we're throwing away the item itself. And when it comes to cell phones and electronics, they use special rare earth minerals and shit that can only be produced in certain areas of the world. And there's only a finite amount of them. How stupid, how myopic, how nearsighted is all of this? It's literally the dumbest possible thing that you could do. If anything, capitalism destroys competition. Capitalism is the thing that destroys art. Even in the Soviet Union, at the very beginning, they still had beautiful artwork. But what do you see when you walk down the street right now under capitalism? Mile after mile of mall after mall. Mega malls and mini malls. Many, many malls as far as the eye can see. And billboards and signs and shit like that. You don't have beauty now. You have commerce. And funny enough, it doesn't even actually give you choice either. Only the illusion of it. You get to choose certain items, but only whatever's in your price range. And as we all know, the higher the price range, the better quality the good. Think about this. If everyone was given the choice to have whatever car they wanted to have, do you think anybody would ever buy another Honda Fit? The truth is that eliminating income inequality doesn't destroy art. In fact, it creates it. The thing that destroys art is poverty. Poverty destroys art. Poverty destroys competition. Poverty creates ugliness. And that income inequality created by capitalism is what creates poverty. At least that's the way I look at it. My name is Aaron. This is my show, Reeducation. If you do get a chance, please check out my Patreon. Every dollar does help fund this show. And thanks for watching.